Now on Denver 7 News at 7 on Local 3, relief as firefighters save homes from weekend wildfires. We're checking in on firefighters' progress.
Also, community leaders stepping up to prevent more youth violence. The plan Aurora officials are considering and what they want to see done.
And the Nuggets are looking to rebound tonight in Game 2 against the Warriors. What the team has to do to stay in the playoffs and why the Joker says he isn't worried yet.
Even though we're hearing the words must win for Game 2.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us on Denver 7 News here at 7 o'clock. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Nicole Brady. Meteorologist Lisa Hidalgo is here with your forecast. And we do still have some wind out there, Lisa. Warmer as well.
It's going to get a lot warmer. Today we're going to be close to where we were yesterday. Upper 60s, a little calmer though. Wind speeds will be at about 10 to 20 miles per hour here over the northern Front Range. A little bit windier to the south. It's also going to be well into the 70s there. So fire danger does remain high across southern Colorado today. We've got a beautiful, very bright start to our Monday morning. 24, it feels like 15, and winds are right now at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. We'll go from 20s and 30s this morning to well into, it looks like, the 60s by this afternoon. It'll take a little longer to warm up though today. By noon, we're at 51. We'll be in the low 60s by about 3, and then upper 60s between 5 and 6. So we have Denver at right around 69. You can see those 70s to the south, 50s and 60s in the mountains today. It'll be about 10 degrees warmer tomorrow. How does 80 sound?
Oh, fantastic.
Warm and windy tomorrow. Details coming up.
We'll take a look at the high country in just a minute. I want to show you some of the sunshine. That'll be a major factor for our drive as we're looking across I-25 from Mile High to downtown. Southbound I-25 is busy. And also want to let you know that RTD, if you usually catch the 15 bus, which is over on East Colfax, or the 0 bus along Broadway, there's been several of them canceled because of no operator available to take those buses. So there could be some delays for your RTD ride. The rest of the drive looks pretty standard. We do have this one crash well off the highway over the Thornton Parkway at I-25. The ramp is partially impeded, but it's not affecting I-25, which is good news for us here this morning. Out to the east side of town or the west side of town, it really doesn't look that bad. Take a look at the high country drive where you see some wet conditions for us, mostly on I-70, but the lanes here are open.
Taking a live look from Boston this morning, where runners are about to take off in the Boston Marathon. This year there are about 30,000 runners competing. It is expected to draw another 500,000 spectators and comes just 6 months after the last running, which was moved to October last year because of the pandemic.
Back here in Colorado, firefighters are making progress on 2 fires, the Duck Pond fire near Glenwood Springs and the 37E fire north of Lyons. Starting with the Duck Pond fire, crews say it has burned 89 acres and is 60% contained. Fortunately, the only damage so far has been some burned picnic tables and fencing at some recreation sites. All mandatory evacuations have been lifted and I-70 is open. We talked to people thankful to return to their homes.
Totally grateful because Colorado's had some major fires. It's devastating through a lot of families, so we're completely blessed. Couldn't be happier that we get to go home to a home.
Firefighters believe a person started that fire, but the cause is still under investigation. In Larimer County, the 37E fire is now 100% contained after burning 114 acres. All evacuations in the Blue Mountain area were lifted. No structures have been lost.
Sadly, it was a violent Easter weekend across the country as officials investigate 3 mass shootings. In Pittsburgh, officials are looking for the suspects who opened fire at a party at an Airbnb home. 2 17-year-olds were killed. At least 11 others were injured. More than 200 people were inside the rental when the shooting happened. 9 people were hurt after a shooting at a nightclub in Hampton County, South Carolina, overnight into Sunday. The owners say someone fired up to 30 shots. Police have not released information on a suspect or a motive in that one. Also in South Carolina, though, police say a fight between multiple people led to a shooting at a mall in Columbia Saturday. 14 people were hurt. Police arrested 1 person who is now out on bail.
Well, youth violence is a major concern for many of our cities. Today, Aurora will look at how to make our streets safer for kids. Denver 7's Christian Lopez is live from police headquarters with how the city may expand a violence prevention plan. Christian.
Yeah, and they put this plan together after collecting community input when it comes to what people's biggest concerns are and what they want to see done. The youth violence prevention team actually did an assessment back in 2021, and they've been working on this strategic plan based on those findings. So youth, parents, and others in Aurora ranked the type of violence they believed was impacting the city the most. Gang, domestic, and gun violence were among the top 3. Tonight, city leaders will look over this plan that targets youth ages 10 to 24, and it would focus on prevention and intervention, especially among those who are in high-risk communities, those who are showing at-risk behaviors, and youth who have re-entered the community after being in custody. So City Council will discuss this plan during a study session tonight and then figure out if it'll move forward to the next City Council meeting. Live in Aurora this morning, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
Thank you, Christian. Thornton police are looking for a driver who caused a crash with a motorcyclist and then drove away. The incident on I-25 was all caught on dash cam video. And we want to start by saying before you see it that the man on the motorcycle is okay. But watch as the minivan swerves across multiple lanes to cut off another minivan and a motorcycle. The rider went tumbling on the highway, and the other minivan was able to stop just in time before hitting him. But the motorcycle itself continued running into the semi-truck. Thankfully, the motorcycle rider was wearing a helmet and did not need to be taken to the hospital, but a very close call.
Yeah, wow. This morning, it is a critical battle for Ukraine's port city of Mariupol. Russia's military says about 2,500 Ukrainian fighters are inside this sprawling steel plant. That group ignored an ultimatum from Russia to surrender. If Russia does take Mariupol, it would be a strategic win, giving Russia a crucial land bridge from Crimea to the eastern Donbas region. In the western part of Ukraine, at least 7 people are dead in Lviv after multiple explosions caused by missiles. The city had been spared much of the violence in almost 2 months of war until now. Deepening concerns about supply chain issues connected to the war are driving oil prices to the highest price we've seen in nearly 3 weeks. Gas prices have been holding steady, though. The average for a gallon here in Colorado is $3.95, which is the same as last week and a month ago. But like the rest of us, Colorado farmers are closely watching the cost of fuel, and now we're learning they're concerned about access to fertilizer as well. Here's Denver 7's Veronica Acosta.
Everybody is feeling the pinch. You take fuel, fertilizer, labor, repairs, everything is higher. If it was just one category, it probably wouldn't be as bad, but yeah, you know, every farm's budget is hurting just because of that. And so just a lot of praying and hoping.
Tim Volberding and his dad do all the work on this 3,000-acre farm. Wheat, milo, millet, and pinto beans grown in this soil. Farming is tough, but these days it's fertilizer that concerns Volberding the most.
About a year and a half ago, it cost about $200 a ton. Now, instead of $200, we're between $700 to $800 a ton. So you're looking at almost 4 times the cost up front just for the same amount of fertilizer.
This year, he expects to spend more than $200,000 on fertilizer for all 3,000 of his acres. That's even after trying to use less.
We do a lot of directly putting the fertilizer with the seed. So instead of putting the fertilizer across everything, you're putting that fertilizer right in that place that the seed actually needs it, and you can reduce your costs that way, just about by reducing the amount that you need.
There's alternatives like manure, but that just won't work for him.
Well, in theory, manure is a great idea as an alternative to commercial fertilizer. It's hard because manure weighs a lot, and you need a lot to make up for that difference in pounds of nitrogen.
This isn't an isolated issue. Other farmers are also looking for solutions.
It's really a balancing act, and there's really no good answer for any of our producers. They're all just going to sort of have to muddle through it as best they can and hopefully be able to turn a profit this year.
All Volberding says he can really do at this point.
And it's just a lot of praying, Veronica.
Praying those fertilizer prices start coming down. In Anton, I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
Well, we love to be outdoors in Colorado, but there's been a lot of talk about Denver's summer air quality.
Yeah, generally it's not great during the summer, and that's before you add in the inevitable wildfire smoke. The EPA has recently downgraded the entire Front Range for ongoing air quality issues. Dr. Megan Abrams, a pulmonary nurse practitioner, says it's due to a lot of factors.
The topography of Denver and its proximity to the Rocky Mountains kind of predisposes us to having problems with smog and pollution because the air gets trapped over the city.
So to best protect yourself, Dr. Abrams says to check the air pollution on a daily basis and to avoid going outdoors on the worst days. But if you have to go outside, don't overexert yourself and maybe wear a mask if you're prone to respiratory issues.
Dr. Abrams also said people who are new to the area should check in with a doctor to see if they should take allergy medication to relieve the symptoms.
Well, the Nuggets lost Game 1 to the Warriors Saturday. They certainly don't want to go down 0-2 before the series comes back to Denver. They were just outmanned in Game 1, playing catch-up thanks to Steph Curry and company. Nikola Jokic was the Nuggets' bright spot in the game. He had 25 points, 10 rebounds, and he says the team isn't panicking yet.
Figured out, watch video, just try to be better, you know. It's hopefully it's going to be a long series, and hopefully we came here to steal one if we can, of course. The pressure is not on us. We are underdogs here.
He is a finalist once again for the NBA MVP award. Tip-off from San Francisco is tonight at 8, and then games 3 and 4 will be back at Ball Arena. Game 4 is Sunday at 1:30, a game you can watch right over on Denver 7.
It's tax day, and if you're one of the millions of people who waited till the last minute, you do have some options.
And if you aren't ready to say goodbye to ski season yet, we'll let you know where you can still hit the slopes.